Welcome to Eat More Football, the show that satisfies your craving for hot takes. We have a very juicy episode this week. We're
Hmm.
gonna have a little This Week in Sports, winner, chicken dinner, some reactions to the biggest games from week one, which there were some very crazy games. Reactions to the new AP poll that just came out, and some predictions for the upcoming week, which are some really good games coming up. And of course, we will conclude with top 20. TJ, let's go to This Week in Sports.
All right, this week in sports, the NFL season has officially started. I'm excited actually.
Oh yeah.
I went to the Jags Dolphins preseason game. We won like double digits, so that was fun. Um, and it looks like the Jags are in for a good season, hopefully.
Oh yeah.
So on Thursday, the first game is Detroit, the Detroit Lions versus Kansas City. Uh,
Hmm.
so yeah, we'll figure out how that goes just from context clues.
Hey, somebody predicted, I don't know if it was Dan Orlovsky, said that he thinks the Lions are a Super Bowl contender this year. So
Okay.
you never know.
I don't know. Their defense is really not good.
They're not going to be your old
But
granddad's Lions this year, I have a feeling. They'll be much better than that.
Well, Dan Orlovsky
so,
went to UConn, so
And he ran out the back of the end zone as a
yeah,
professional
that's true.
quarterback to get a safety. So
yeah. Hey, I like Dan Orlovsky.
I do too.
Yeah, I like that.
So yeah,
We
Thursday
all
is
roasted
our
him, even though we all like him.
yeah seriously. Yep. So yeah, Thursday is our first NFL game. The Lions versus Chiefs. I think we are all going Chiefs. So there we go. And that is really about all we have for this week in sports. Not much else has happened. That Georgia coach got arrested before the game for speeding. So
Crime you.
yeah, we need to release a
Mind you.
pound kings or something like the dog pound.
Kings.
So
Yeah.
new Hulu documentary. So cool. All right. Well, in that case, let us quickly move on to winner, chicken dinner. All right. So just a quick recap. This is the first winner, chicken dinner of this season. This is just where we pick our winners, quote unquote, of each week. So maybe a particular player who played really well, or a team who got a huge upset, something like that. So I will just start off with Craig. You can start with yours, and we'll go Craig, Noah, me.
All right. So my winner, chicken dinner is none other than Coach Prime time, Deion Sanders.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. And he's proven that over and
Oh.
over and over again now. So love him or hate him. A lot of people don't like him much because he's very outspoken. But the man gets results. The man was a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He went to Jackson State, did a great job there. Everybody's doubting him. Well, that's HBCU. He's got the better players. How's he going to do it at Colorado? Now, I'm not going to crown him just yet, but you have to take your hat off to the man for backing the talk that he put out there this offseason. Now, they could go 1-11 to end the season, but as of right now, you've got to respect the man's body of work. Colorado looked like a very good football team. Yes, I think TCU is a bit overrated this year. It was a little bit of the perfect storm because they were so good last year in Cinderella, and I do not think they'll win more than 8 games this year. However, Colorado was 1-11 last year. And
Ouch.
Coach Prime, and his crew went on the road and beat a top 20 football team. And the way they did it, though, was they were so resilient. They just continued to fight. Mad skill players, but they looked good up front as well. Offensive line, defensive line. And I was just very impressed with the way they played, their intensity, their discipline as well. I mean, say what you want about Coach Prime and his attitude, and sometimes he does rub me the wrong way with how arrogant he can come across. But the man backs it up, and I truly do believe that he is a good person, and he's trying to help all those young men become better people, and he spits the truth. And so he's my winner chicken dinner. Respect what he's done to this point in his short career at Colorado, and for what they did on the field on Saturday against the TCU Horned Frogs, last year's darling and Cinderella.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I find it interesting. Billy Napier was really supposed to be the person to bring discipline to the Florida football program, and I still think he could be come a couple of years if we give him that time. But Deion Sanders has brought more discipline quicker to the Colorado program than Billy Napier as to the Florida program. Now, granted, I don't think Colorado had the discipline issues that Florida has been having the past 4 years, but I just think that's interesting to note. So,
yeah.
Anyways, all right, Noah, your turn.
All right, I'm going to go with Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis, having one of
Heisman.
maybe honestly, if he plays like he did this week, then he'll definitely be in New York. We all picked LSU to win. I mean, none of us thought LSU was gonna like just destroy Florida State, but we all thought it'd be like a decisive win for LSU, and it looked like it was gonna be. At the end of the first half, LSU was up by, I think it was 14-10, and then second half, Florida State and Jordan Travis just turned it on. I mean, Jordan Travis over 300 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, only 1 interception. He played lights out football, and they were so dominant. The defense just kept getting stops and stops, and they made Jaden Daniels so uncomfortable. It was like a deer in headlights, or for Sam Darnold, it was like he was seeing ghosts. I'll go with Jordan.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I would like to see him win the Heisman. Actually, I like him. They were talking about.
As a Florida fan?
Yeah. I mean, I don't like Florida State, obviously, but I love Jordan Travis. I mean,
he might be slowly slipping down that path to converting to the Seminoles, TJ.
Yeah, right. Never.
Ooh, yeah, I saw everyone at school with their FSU stuff on. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, I know, right? That's utterly ridiculous.
They emerged out of their shadow.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, he's a great player. He's had to go through 4 years. I think he's been there 4 years of really just atrocious football up until the past couple of years. So I really appreciate what he's been doing and his growth as a player. So that's I like him.
Can I make a comment on Jordan Travis as well?
Mm-hmm.
So did you see his interview after the game?
I did.
Very well spoken, just like captain material, right? Like that guy's a leader. Like he's the guy you want taking snaps. And obviously Kirk Herbstreit echoed that after he heard it.
Yes.
But then the biggest piece that I saw, they're showing him walking off the field, and got to give my guy Carter Barfield, who's a special teams assistant at Florida State, caught a little glimpse of him in his visor next to Jordan Travis on the way out. But Jordan Travis is walking off the field, and then at the very end, you hear Jordan Travis saying, "Hey guys, jog it off," to his teammates. And so that, to me, that small little thing, having been a coach and been around players, to see him just say something like that, small, but you can see that he's got command over the guys around him, that he's leading those guys around him. He's telling them, hey, we need to move it. Even at the end of the game, get off the field, let's go. So he's doing that at practice every single day.
I definitely like that. I like that look.
Oh, yeah.
I love that look. Anyways, so my winner chicken dinner, I didn't tell the guys before we started. Louisville.
Surprise.
Louisville. And I said it was going to be a bit bogus. But listen to this. Listen to this.
I'd say.
Okay, shush. So, Louisville was down 28-13 at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Held Georgia Tech to 0 points in the third and 6 in the fourth. And I think that might have been 2 field goals. And they came back and won the game 39-34.
That's pretty impressive.
I was watching that game.
I didn't watch the game until the fourth quarter.
So yeah, I mean, I did watch the whole game, and it was very funny. It was almost a Clemson type situation where it's just like, wow, I can't believe that this is actually happening. Like, this is so bad. I can't believe Georgia Tech managed to mess it up that bad. But anyways, that's my winner chicken dinner. Louisville, good for them for providing me for an entertaining game. Providing me an entertaining game of week 1. One of my favorites, actually, this week. So
I would agree with that.
Yeah. All right. And now we will head over to some quick week 1 reactions. Not sure how much time we have on this Zoom, not a sponsor, meeting. But we'll just go quickly down the line. We'll start with Florida, Utah. We'll go in order of, I think this is in order of the games. But so Florida, Utah, my initial reactions, wow, this game kind of stunk. The score doesn't look it. It was only 24-11, which isn't bad. Everyone's kind of reacting like we got blew out, but that's just because how bad we played. Yeah, we had 2 number 3s on special teams at once on the field, so that was nice. Lots of penalties, lots and lots of penalties. Seems like the same issues coming up every week. At some point, the fans are going to get tired of Billy Napier saying the same things every press conference. Now, granted,
we just got to coach better.
Yeah, that is what he says. Now, granted, that is something that Dan Mullen would not do. Dan Mullen would typically not admit that he needed to coach better. So I do appreciate that from Billy Napier. But at the same time, it's like, let's get some results. I don't know what they're going to need to change, but I still do, quote-unquote, trust the process. And I understand what Billy's trying to do there. I'm just ready for some results. So we'll see what comes up in the McNeese State game. I hope that will be a hefty blowout because
it better be.
And again, if it's not, you will have a new coach in week 3.
Oh boy, we can't fire Billy. He's got the number 3.
If it's a loss,
he's got all those recruits,
which is not going to happen. But if they lost to them, he would probably get shown the door.
I don't know what would happen to our recruits if we did that. Like we have, as of right now, the number 3 recruiting class. If we fired him, literally all of them would leave, I feel like. So yeah. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Maybe that's an overreaction. Probably is. But just a side note. So
not if you hired Coach Prime, they'd all stay, baby.
Oh, yeah. So any other reactions to the game? I mean, I thought Graham Mertz played great for what it's worth. Just bad offensive line play. So any other initial reactions or move on to the next game?
I I didn't get to see the game. I just saw the highlights that you showed me the other day. But
because Spectrum.
The reason I didn't exactly was Spectrum. My loser, chicken snoozer. Spectrum, because they're feuding with ESPN, and they decided to cut the programming right before that game. Plus, I had to work. Speaking of chicken, but anyway, yeah, Spectrum is my loser, chicken doozer.
Good. That's a good choice. All right, next game: Colorado versus number 17 TCU. We already touched on it a little bit, but man, how about those standout players in this game?
Oh yeah, Travis Hunter especially.
He's as good as they come in college football, in my opinion.
He played both halves, and then I don't know. He was doing an interview with somebody. I don't know if it was televised. They're like, "How tired are you after a game?" He was like, "Yeah, I could probably play another half of football," just like nonchalantly. Like he is just one of a kind athlete. We've never seen anything like that in college football.
Definitely not, and it was extremely impressive. I mean, he played both sides of the ball. Didn't he get like picks?
He got an interception, almost had a second too. Yeah. 100 yards receiving. It was incredible. I haven't seen anybody like that in a game like that in a long time.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up stats real quick. First of all, Shadur Sanders, 38 for 47, 510 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's incredible.
He did really well as well.
Yeah. I don't really want to look up the full
I'll be the first to say, too, watching him, because I was interested when he was at Jackson State. I watched some of their games, and I wasn't sold on him as a quarterback. I feel like he's much more polished right now than he was when he was at Jackson State last year and the year before. But, man, I didn't think his arm was super strong, but he definitely proved me wrong Saturday because he had a lot of zip on the ball. His accuracy was unbelievable. His pocket presence, where he was going with the football, was impressive. Just really great decision making.
Yeah, I was very impressed. He had the Joe Milton arm. Throwing it 90 yards down the field. Travis Hunter, 11 receptions, 119 yards. He didn't get any touchdowns, but Dylan Edwards did. I think he was a wide receiver.
3 of them, right?
Yeah, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Colorado defense. Let's see here if I can.
Not so hot.
Yeah, their defense was not as good as their offense.
Correct, but that's the Big 12 for you, right? Yeah,
That's true.
So Oklahoma, what was that, like 72-0? They shut out Arkansas
Oh
State.
yeah, definitely.
Did anyone see that video of Butch Jones crying on the sidelines?
I did, yeah, because you showed it to me.
I did not see that. Oh
I
man, you gotta
I,
send that to
I
me.
desperately need to send that. I feel really bad for Butch Jones because
Seriously.
like one of the players was like consoling him on the sidelines, and he was like really shaken by the shutout, and I was a bit concerned because
Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah, I'm just
bad.
gonna leave it at that. So yeah, Butch
Hey,
Jones.
I mean, he has a championship ring with Alabama because he was like an analyst or something.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
So
At this point, what fired
he's a
SEC
legend.
coach does not have a championship ring with Alabama?
Hmm. Yeah, seriously.
Good point. Nick Saban Rehabilitation Clinic.
Yeah. So anyways, Butch Jones. Yeah, that's my. I'm gonna put him in the winner chicken dinner just because he stuck it out. So
Maybe he'll listen to our show and be encouraged.
yes,
Yeah,
you can
we're
do
here
it,
for
Butch
you, Butch.
Jones. Yes.
We're here for you.
All right. Yeah. Just okay. Moving on. I'm not sure how much time we got left, so I'm moving through these relatively quickly. Um, there were, well, first of all, there are a lot of good games next week actually, but so Baylor got beat by Texas State, not Texas Tech,
Yeah,
Texas State, which
Texas
yeah,
Tech got beat too.
yeah, Texas Tech also got beat by Wyoming. So Texas State, I don't know anything about them. Why would I? Baylor, they're not very good. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Moving on. Number 21, North Carolina versus South Carolina. I didn't watch this game, guys.
Yeah, me neither. I was watching Alabama.
I watched it, and South Carolina, instead of an offensive line, they put 5 yellow parking cones out there and just snapped the ball to Spencer
That's what
Rattler.
I heard. That's what
And
I
so he had
heard.
to run around. They're a non-existent offensive line.
That's so
Yeah, I
bad.
saw some highlights. Drake May looks fantastic.
He did look good. He looked super, except for those 2 picks he threw in the second half, which almost
Ooh,
cost him the comeback. But he,
yikes.
he did look good for the majority of the game.
Heisman.
Never, no.
That's been my joke. Craig knows.
Heisman.
We were over at the family gathering the other day, and I just kept saying Heisman for like every bad play. So
Every like 5 people on San Jose State and 5 people on Oregon State had won the Heisman by the end of the game.
and it didn't get old. Just saying. All right. So and now we're down to the 2 best games of the well, quote unquote, best games of the week. LSU, FSU. Wow, I cannot believe what
Yeah.
happened. It was a good game for a while, but FSU just came back and just really pulled away. Yeah. Anything you want to add? I mean, not much, but
I loved it.
I'm a little. Not only am I impressed with Florida State and Mike Norvell and the ability that he's had to turn that program around, it's just been awesome. I thought he was a good coach at Memphis, but to see what he's been able to do at Florida State when everybody was doubting him, I mean, that program, guys, if you remember, was in really disarray when Jimbo left.
take a look at Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful. And for him to come in and just weather the storm and now have a 10-win year, and then now he's up to number 4 in the rankings right now. But on the other side, it makes me wonder about what's going on at LSU, because what I saw in that game, and one game doesn't make a season, but what I saw is a team that quit, that got manhandled, and possibly a team that might have some culture issues going on.
Well, that's Brian Kelly. I mean, he has not been a historically well-cultured coach. No offense, but that's just how it's been.
There's been a ton of fights happening in practice and stuff.
That's crazy.
From what I've heard.
So watch out. They could get ugly this year, and ugly I mean 8 wins or something like that. But
Well, and Brian Kelly said in his press conference, he's like, he said something to the effect of like, "This is not we're not the team that I thought we were." And that's just like, as a coach, you can't say that. Like that's so demoralizing as a player. I'm sure. Like, oh man, our coach thought we were going to be super good, and he just completely downgraded us. I'm sure that feels very bad as a player. So yeah, But anyways, Florida fans, take a look at FSU and what they did with their program over 4
Transfer
years.
portal.
Yeah, transfer portal, very good recruiting as of late. So Florida fans, be patient with Billy Napier is my moral of the story. So, yeah, good. And then the last game that we will touch on, the one from Monday night. Number
Oh,
9. Okay, Noah can cover this one. He seems a bit anxious.
I loved it from start to finish. Well, besides the like punt return fumble the dude had, it was beautiful to watch. We are currently amongst the downfall of Clemson, and as an Alabama fan, I'm kind of love it. Riley Leonard, first of all, in the top 20, I was the only one of 30 to pick Duke, and I got this game. So that makes me very excited. And I don't, Clemson just looked like,
Florida.
I don't know, a little bit. Cade Klubnik, he had some like pretty decent throws, but he kind of just looked sporadic towards the end of the game. And they got out physicaled by Duke, a
Oh,
team that
completely.
like consistently, yeah, a team that consistently gets like top 15, top 10 classes, got manhandled by a bunch of nerds at Duke. Like, that is so demoralizing. And Dabo Swinney, he said that after the game. He was like, I've never been a part of something like this. So, hmm.
Yeah, that was kind
Yeah.
of not kind of that was embarrassing. Duke is
Yes,
much
very
better than
embarrassing.
they have been in the past. The
Yes.
Elko, he's doing a really good job, and I don't care what you say, that quarterback's good. And Duke's had a string of some pretty good quarterbacks. Daniel Jones ring a bell. So Cutcliffe did okay, and I think the magic kind of ran out. But Duke is a decent football team. And what they win, like 8, 9 games last year?
8, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
So
were
it's
good
not
last year.
like, yeah, so they're good. But I mean, it's Clemson, and that should never happen if you're Clemson. You should never be beat 28-7 by Duke. That's just inexcusable. Dabo should be embarrassed, which I'm sure he is. And again, kind of like the comment about LSU, it makes me wonder about what's going on at Clemson. I mean,
Yeah.
I just didn't see the spark. I didn't see the athletes that they typically have, specifically on the edge with their receivers and those types of things. And like you said, Cade Klubnik just looked average to me last night.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Riley, what is it? Not Lincoln Riley,
Garrett
Garrett
Riley.
Riley,
Garrett
can get it going. Give him time, first game. But I mean, you fired your OC from last year just to get 7 points against Duke. That's kind of rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So just some readings of the stats here. Cade Klubnik, 27 for 43, 209, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That's pretty
Wasn't
mediocre.
terrible.
I mean,
Very.
it's whatever. Riley Leonard, 17 for 33, 175 yards.
He got it all in the ground game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He's
8 carries, 98 yards, 1 touchdown. So he's like knockoff Tim Tebow or something. That's quite interesting. Okay, well that reassures me a little bit. I should have looked down. But anyways, yeah,
well, I mean, the
yeah,
reason they lost, they fumbled the ball twice inside the 10-yard line.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and this is I think what whoever was calling the game. I think it might have been like Todd Blackledge or something. But he was like, not to discount Duke because Duke did play well, but Clemson
Oh yeah,
just
definitely.
shot themselves in the foot like every 2 plays. Like,
Yeah.
if you have that many mistakes in a game, you cannot win, no matter how good the opponent or how good or bad the opponent is. Like, that's just not how it is.
Yeah.
Just saying,
Yeah, so undisciplined.
Duke is number 1 in the ACC right now. Well, actually, technically number 2 because FSU.
Yeah, but
This is just like ranked wins type stuff.
Well, and Duke has the only conference win, though, probably, right?
Yeah. So
It's the
then
only
yes.
ACC game that went on.
Well, and
So
Louisville.
yeah, that's right. So they're tied with Louisville for best record in the ACC.
That's
What a world!
potential ACC championship matchup, Louisville, Duke.
I love
Hey,
it.
I'm actually looking forward to the Duke FSU game now. Like,
Oh yeah,
I think they'll get destroyed by FSU, but I was thinking about doing a segment week 1 overreactions.
Oh yeah,
So
those are endless.
Yeah, because those are endless. So those might be fun for next week or something. Just like go completely overboard with our assumptions based on week 2 of college football.
Yeah,
So
2 weeks. That's a good. I like that segment.
yeah, so maybe we'll introduce that next week. All right, cool. All right, AP poll reactions. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Let's just say what we think is good about the new rankings, like what we think could be improved. If we agree or disagree, I'll start us off. FSU at 4, I like it. I think FSU deserves to be there. Ohio State moved down 2, which is probably right. They struggled against Indiana, which is pretty disappointing. Washington moved up a couple, good for them. Tennessee moved up 3, great. Notre Dame, I actually think Notre Dame's going to be pretty good this year with Sam Hartman.
Oh, I agree.
Utah moved up 2, great. Oregon, they scored like 84, great. LSU moved down 9. It's quite a lot, but they did get blown out. So, I appreciate all these. Duke is now ranked. I agree. Colorado, I agree. I'm actually pretty all right with these rankings as of right now. So, like, I don't hate them. So,
I like Oregon State at 16 a lot.
yeah,
EJU looks pretty good.
that is true. That's
one game against San Jose State, but still.
Yeah, backup winner chicken dinner for this week.
Yeah, I agree. These are pretty accurate. I think it's so early; it's really hard to make too much of an opinion on it.
Yeah, I agree. Week 1 overreaction. Colorado national championship.
Yeah, baby.
Duke national
Florida and
championship.
Duke in the national championship.
Hey, the U is receiving votes.
Who's the U? Miami?
Miami, the U.
They're playing
Big
Texas
win
A&M.
over Miami,
That
Ohio.
might actually be a decent game.
Hey, Miami. Yeah, Miami, Texas A&M should be a fun game, actually. So cool. Well, that's a good short segment then.
Hold up. Breaking news.
Oh,
breaking news. Duke quarterback Riley Leonard denied homework extension after Clemson upset. He didn't get an assignment done on time, I guess, and his teacher didn't give him welcome to Duke.
That's hilarious.
He was playing a national televised game, and his professor didn't cut him slack because he didn't get it in on time. I love it, dude.
Ooh,
Way
man.
to go. That's why
Millions
your
of people
degree
watching.
means so much.
Yeah. Seriously. Jeez.
Not care.
That's crazy. All right, cool. So now that we're done with that, we have just about 10 minutes left on the meeting. So that should serve us enough time to do some quick week 2 predictions and move on to the top 20. Good. All right. So number 1, let me pull up stats and info here. Scores. Now, Craig told me yesterday that there are no good games. Now, speaking of week 2 overreactions, week 2 is chocked full of great games.
Oh yeah,
in my opinion. Craig's a
average,
homer.
Average. There's no conference games. Till we get in the conference schedule, then it really starts to heat up.
So let's move on to the picks. First of all, Utah's playing Baylor, and they're coming in at -7.5. What?
That's it?
Yeah, like they played really well against Florida, relatively, and Baylor got beat by Texas State, and Utah's coming in -7.5. I reserve my opinions. All right, game number 1, Nebraska versus number 22 Colorado, the rebirth of that great rivalry. Colorado comes in favored by -3. That's a good line. I like it. We'll go like Craig, Noah, me again for picks.
All right. So in his post-game interview, Coach Prime was giving all the reporters a hard time. Like, y'all didn't believe in us. And he asked one reporter, and he said, "Do you believe in us now?" Because I guess the guy had written a bad story. He's like, "I read that garbage that you wrote a while ago." He's like, "Do you believe in us now?" And the guy's like, "Believe in what?" And he goes, "See, I know you still don't believe." Well, Coach Prime, if you ask me if I believe Coach Prime. I didn't before. I believe now. You're going to beat Nebraska this week.
Coach Prime's biggest fan. I agree, though. I think that if this gets into like a track meet where it's going to end up being like in the 50s, There's no way Nebraska. I know Colorado's defense looked horrible, but like Nebraska's offense looked worse.
Dude, Nebraska
So
scored 10 points against Minnesota with Jess Sims at quarterback. There's no way they're going to score more than 20 points.
yeah, give me the Buffaloes.
Good. I'm a Nebraska homer. That's
Scott Frost is gone, dude.
I know, but I like Matt
Yeah, you
Rule.
don't have to root for them anymore.
I know, but I like Matt Rule. I've always liked Matt
I like
Rule
Matt Rule
ever since he was at Baylor. And I really
He'll be
have. I think the sport is better when Nebraska's good. My mom actually pointed out something interesting. Shout out to my mom on the show, I guess. But no one ever says that the sport is better when Florida's good. So what's the deal with that?
Well, last time Florida was good, 41 people are getting arrested. So
Well, no one knew about it back then.
Oh, so like Georgia? Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly, just like Georgia.
oh,
So
modern day
anyways,
Florida.
I'll put Colorado win. I think it'll be close. I just want a good game. I love Nebraska, so Nebraska homer, but Colorado to win the game. All right, next. First, another hidden game here, Purdue, Virginia Tech. VT comes in -3. Great game. All right, next game. Number 20, Ole Miss versus 24, Tulane. Let's speed things up a little bit. The line is Ole Miss, 7.5.
I love Tulane and Willie Fritz, but I do not think they'll be able to hang with Ole Miss early in the year. Ole Miss by 2 touchdowns.
I agree. I think Ole Miss will cover very easily with Jackson Dart at quarterback.
Agreed. Ole Miss cover. Cool. Next, number 23, Texas A&M Aggies versus the Miami Hurricanes. The U. A&M comes in -4.5.
Everything in me wants to say the U is going to make a rebound this year and win a game like this against Texas A&M, but I think A&M gets them. And I think it was last year that Miami A&M played, right? I think A&M may have blown them out. Was it a blowout, right? Miami looked terrible.
It was a snooze fest. It was like 17-10 or something.
Okay, there's an ugly game. I remember, yeah. But at Texas A&M for sure. What's the line? 3?
4.5.
Yeah, I think A&M probably covers.
I'm going the opposite way. I'm taking Miami to win.
What?
I think it's at home. I think Tyler Van Dyke is going to play pretty well. And this is a new Miami team, so I'm going with the Hurricanes.
That's a stretch. Get this. Miami, no home field advantage. Hard Rock is like the most barren stadium for college football. Go Aggies, all the way. Cover. Next, Iowa State, another hidden game. Let's go very quickly. I think I've got Iowa. Good defense.
Iowa.
Hawkeyes.
Cool. All right, sweep the board with that. And lastly, 11 Texas versus 3 Alabama. Alabama cover.
For sure. Yeah, roll tide. Texas is not impressive last week.
Yeah.
Texas. Jalen Miller is going to win the Heisman.
Overreaction. Yeah, Texas did not look good versus Rice. So,
no.
In all retrospect. So, all right, Craig, finish us off with a quick top 20 briefing with 2 minutes left.
Okay, 1 week in. So not a lot happened in the first week, but we had several people finish the week at 15-5. Too many names to mention right now, and then there's another log jam at 14-6. So early season, a lot of people in striking distance start to separate a little as we get into week 2 and week 3. So we'll have a little more detailed updates as we get into those weeks.
Cool. Right. That's good. Yeah, Noah went like 13-4, which is much better than me.
13-4. There's 20 games.
Oh yeah. What was? Oh yeah, it was yesterday. So I was looking at yesterday's stats because it was the Duke game.
Noah ended up 15-5 actually because of Duke.
Oh,
win. Yeah. So it's and TJ, you're 11-9.
No, Noah's surprised as to how well he did.
I am surprised. Last year I did kind of bad.
Hey, well, all that matters is I won my first game against Jake. So
shout out to Jake. We got to get him back on the show. Yeah, we got to get some guests coming in here. throughout the weeks.
Yeah.
So you can get some classmates or something. Anyways, cool. Well, this is a good episode. I'm very glad that we've kind of figured out a time range because we're getting things done in 30 minutes or less. So congrats to us. Sweep the time, sweep that time up. Yeah. So anyways, cool. Great episode, guys. We always have fun making the show. And if you have any questions, make sure to email us. We'll put that in the little ender video that we still have. But go check us out.
You don't get to see me in the daddy shirt, though.
Yeah, seriously. So,
what are we going to do?
Yeah. So anyways, go check us out on YouTube. The same content is on there. We'll post a couple extra things on there. And we will see everyone in the next show. God bless.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Eat More Football. And then send us any of your questions regarding the show or college football or any sport in general. And we'll answer it in our What's Cooking section at eatmorefb@gmail.com. That's Instagram and Twitter at Eat More Football. And then our email is eatmorefb@gmail.com. See you next time.